bifurcatio carotidis, bifurcation forms, where lies glomus caroticus on this bifurcation, glomus caroticus, and is divided into two branches. This common carotid, which is covered initial part by sternocleidomastoid and omohyoid, then it passes into what triangle? Carotid triangle of the neck, where it is covered after muscles covered by superficial fascia of the neck, lamina superficialis. That is why you can, in this triangle, touch pulse of this artery. It is very superficially located and covered by skin, subcutaneous fatty tissue, and superficial fascia of the neck. No here. Sorry, my cold. Вот. Вот палец. Импульс это. Чуть. Вот. Не до ларинкс. Below. Вот. Trigonum caroticum of the neck, topographical borders of this triangle revise. In this triangle, this artery, on what level? Level of the superior margin of thyroid cartilage, skeletotopia. On this level, it forms sinus carotidis, enlargement sinus carotidis, and forms bifurcation, bifurcatio, sinus caroticus, bifurcatio carotidis, on which lies glomus caroticus, paraganglia. And here is divided into the external and internal. Common carotid has not branches. It has end branches only. It don't supply any organ. Lower part of the neck, by what artery is supplied? What branches? Remember this. What artery supplies? This artery not supplied. The lower part of the neck, organs, muscles, what artery? Subclavian. If say cervical part of the trachea, cervical part of esophagus, from what artery supplied? Subclavian. Common carotid has not branches here. Then it is divided. Lower part is supplied from subclavian, upper part, organs, from external. Internal goes to the skull cavity. Supplies organs of skull cavity. Brain, tympanic cavity, organ of vision, eyeball, with auxiliary apparatus. Manages, but not external organ. All external muscles, organs, and nasal, oral cavity organs, they receive from what artery? From external carotid. Upper part, subclavian, from lower. It is from topographical anatomy important. Turn your attention, external carotid at first lies more laterally by localization, and internal, more medially, and internal lies more laterally, but they later change by deposition. An external carotid artery in carotid triangle is divided in following branches. It gives 3 groups of branches, arranged in 3 groups: anterior group, posterior group, and medial group. Medial group. Anterior group, 3 arteries arise. Level of origin, important, just on the level of the rising of external carotid. Superior margin of thyroid cartilage, it gives thyroideus superior, arteria thyroideus superior. Slightly above, on level of the cornu major of hyoid bone, gives arteria lingualis. And above, on level of angulus mandibulae. Angulus mandibulae, it gives arteria facialis. It is important, artery so goes there, yeah? And that is why it is important to name in this arrangement at first thyroideus superior, then lingualis, then facialis. No, facialis, then thyroideus. It so goes to the head. Then artery, by giving of the branches, it is reduces in diameter. It becomes smaller, and then it passes after angle, the main trunk. I will explain topography. It passes under the posterior below of digastricus and stylohyoid muscle, and posterior below of this digastricus. Yes, posterior, venter posterior. Under these 2 muscles, it passes in retromandibular space behind ramus mandibulae. You by finger can touch this fossa, retromandibular fossa, where lies the deep part of the parotid gland. It passes through parotid gland and inside the tissues on the level of column mandibulae. This artery on the level, the column is removed, and behind this column, more deeply, it is divided at right angle. End branches artery is ended. After this, it has not any branches. Arteria maxillaris and temporalis superficialis. And by the way, it gives posterior group and medial group. Artery starts from upper margin of thyroid cartilage, passes through carotid triangle under this muscle in retromandibular fossa parotid gland on level of column-mandibular is ended by end branches. End branches, maxillaris, temporalis, superficialis. You must name these end branches. And now, thyroideus superior in accordance with law of short distance, they help. If it gives thyroideus superior, by the way, to what nearest organ? On what organ lies thyroid gland? On larynx. Thyroideus superior. Why superior? Because thyroideus inferior also have, but from what? From subclavian. Thyroideus superior, laryngeus superior penetrates this thyrohyoid membrane, supplies larynx above the vocal folds, upper part. This will be supplied larynx. Thyroideus inferior gives laryngeus inferior, lower part of the larynx supply. Then arteria. No, also it gives so many branches, ramus sternocleidomastoideus, ramus infrahyoideus. If you remember, but the main thyroid superior, laryngeus superior. Try to remember all branches. Arteria lingualis, training your memory. It is chance to train memory. Arteria lingualis, from the hyoid bone, great corn, it goes on in so-called trigonum pyragova, arteria lingualis, in submandibular triangle. In trigonum arteria lingualis it passes. Trigon of this artery it passes between hypoglossal nerve, digastricus, and mylohyoid muscle. This artery passes under the hyoglossus muscle to the tongue, goes to the tongue. By the way, it supplies sublingual branch, gives to the oral floor. It goes to the tongue, this artery goes to the tongue, and by the way, gives suprahyoid sublingual artery, arteria sublingualis. Suprahyoid branch to the tonsils, by the way, supplies. Then, arteria facialis, facial artery. On the level of angulus mandibulae, it goes to the face, facial region, until medial angle of the eye. It gives, before passing through the basis mandibulate, passes through the basis, overlaps here, and can be compressed in front of masseter. Facialis can be here compressed against the mandible. Here it gives branches on the neck. What branches gives? Through what gland passes? So, mandibular gland. Supplies this. Through what organ passes? Near what organ passes? It gives in accordance with law of short distance to this nearest organ. Submandibular branches, submental, this chin, mental region, submental branch, arteria submentalis from facialis, and palatina ascendens to the ascending palatine artery, palatina ascendens to the soft palate, to the tonsils also. Then, after passing on the face through the basis mandibular, it gives inferior label, superior label, and goes this in tortuous way to the medial angle from arteria carotis interna. Carotis interna goes to the skull cavity, and here supplies the eyeball. It gives arteria ophthalmica. Ophthalmica supplies on medial side, gives arteria dorsalis nasi, and facial artery end branch is called arteria angularis in the angle of the eyeballid, medial angle of eyeballid, orbita cavity ended, and from here arises arteria dorsalis nasi, comes from ophthalmic artery. Dorsalis nasi and angularis form very important junction, anastomose here. If destroyed on the facial region, from internal carotid supplied. If destroyed here, internal ophthalmic artery supplied eyeball from the facial artery. Between external carotid and internal carotid arteries, we have very important anastomosis in the medial angle of the orbital cavity.